what's good? It's your boy, Paulus Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. Hey, guess what? It's your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post up new content. As you can see, I'm in a different part of the house. Uh, Enemy forces have taken over the biggest portion of the. Nah, I'm just bullshitting, y'all. My wife is working from home today. Uh, we're both under the weather still. Um, that's why I'm still coughing a little bit, but hopefully, I done boiled me some orange juice and put some salt in it, and hopefully, that'll help me get over this. Help me get over what the fuck I got going on here. But listen, people, I ain't gotta tell y'all what the hell been going on for the past couple of days. Anton and motherfucking bitch ass Corey, right? They got into it or whatever, but and then usually when fuck this, I ain't gotta tell y'all, but the thing about it is this. When you get two people like that, right, well known in the public eye, whatever, and then you get invited on somebody's show or whatever, and then put like this, everybody's not always gonna see eye to eye. I don't give a fuck what's going on. I mean, if you do, put like this, if you do, then it's a plus for everybody. If you don't, it's still a plus, but then it's how you may disagree with a certain individual, right? That will actually really dictate what type of person that you truly are, right? Just like say, I told y'all like when I actually really did it, right? Hell, I was on a couple of podcasts and and shit got heated. And matter of fact, it was this one particular episode that I did with Hannibal and Monty. And matter of fact, if you go on my playlist, you'll see it. It's the guy's name is Von Helton, right? And he claimed that he served his country, and I called him out on it, and and then and the rest, as they say, is motherfucking history. But this right here, I'm not gonna sit up here and say that it's different, but that matter of fact, it's the same shit. What happens is what happens when somebody get called out on this shit, and and then once you get called out on it, right, when you really don't know how to handle it, right, then you have outbursts like this. And then for the most part, right, when it came across my news feed, right, and I'm just like, okay, so what started it? See, this is what the hell I be telling y'all, right? A lot of people are actually really they're gonna just show you like what I always tell y'all, right? Anything that goes down, right? They just show you the house catching on fire. They just show, and all what the fuck they gonna do is show you, okay, the house is on fire, right? So apparently 911 was called. So here come the fire wagon, here come the meat wagon, just in case you got to carry somebody out somewhere, right? And then the news media, and then the investigators, right? And so for everybody else that was actually like really just showing bits and pieces of everything, I'm not here to call out no damn name, but you know who the fuck you are, right? Because I just look at it like this. If you can't tell the full goddamn story, don't look, stop telling it. Stop telling it, right? And so this brother right here, Jason Whitlock, right? Now, I know a lot of people don't like Jason Whitlock, right? But at the same time, you know, and I'm not even gonna go into any of them motherfucking fucked up ass sayings that people say or whatever. But um, this is like once all of the smoke is so called cleared, right? And so for the most part, right, I'm gonna let this run, and then just know that we're gonna talk about it.
Put a clown suit on Corey Holcomb. This is a
Yeah, that's it, you know. So, great fact, if you didn't hear it, he said he put a clown suit on Corey Holcomb, in which I'm in total agreement because here's a guy, right? I'll be the first one to tell you. Anytime when another grown ass man that want to follow another grown ass man, especially if this motherfucker is dead, right? Guess what? You'd have lost all motherfucking credibility with me, right? You know, and then you know I'm not gonna take it down that road no more. I think I've actually already made my point about that. But for the rest of you motherfuckers, and guess what? You know who the hell you are, right? Stop taking shit out of motherfucking context, right? Hell, they like say if I didn't know any goddamn better, I was swearing down that a lot of y'all are more for Corey than Anton, right? I mean, but then put like this: if you want to suck dick and dick ride just like Corey does, then hey, by all means, do you or do y'all? Just know the crazy uncle gonna say what the fuck he want to say, when he want to say it, and how he want to say it. And then if y'all don't like it, look, y'all know where the fuck y'all can stick it and carry it away.
3-minute excerpt from that, the blow up. I want you to watch this, and then on the other side of that, I will interview Anton Daniels.
Mail due to America to bring it down.
I'm not getting into that.
You dancing around it.
No,
and that's why I lose respect for you when you start dancing and kissing Caucasian males' ass.
But I don't.
Don't do that in front of me because I'm not an ass kisser of no.
Yes, indeed you are. And just like I said, this is what the fuck I said the other day, right? You know, you didn't put like this, you didn't had to pucker up. Dog, you in Hollywood, right? That's what the fuck you do. Now, granted the fact we already know that you're not on the A list. You're not even on the B list. At best, you C minus. Right? So just stop with this nonsense here. Okay?
Yes, you are. You suck the black people right now. You doing the easy shit. What you do, let me tell you.
That facial expression is always gonna kill me, right? That's just like you know, because he did like, no, you didn't, right? Okay, all right. I'm missing the whole point here. Let's let this run.
What you do?
Nah, homie, let me tell you something, homie.
Ain't nobody gonna tell you.
I don't suck.
Yeah,
I don't
you do.
suck. So fix
you doing
that.
it right now.
I don't suck.
You doing it right now.
Homie, believe me when I tell you. I don't do that.
I tell you.
I don't do that.
Listen.
So don't come at me with no sucky shit.
I'm gonna give you the same energy you give me.
Let's switch seats.
Let's switch seats. I'm going right now and going up back. I don't give a fuck about this shit.
Homie, you just running your mouth.
I'm not running my mouth.
You running your mouth. I don't do
you
no
doing this.
Now, the one thing, now, granted the fact, you know, I get it. This is Jason Whitlock. He chopping it up, right? But the thing about it though, with me is this. I get it that these two individuals here, right? They professionals, so-called professionals, right? But let me explain something. If y'all don't know the crazy uncle, I'm gonna tell you something about the crazy uncle. First time you stand up and do some shit like this, guess what? I'm finna stand up right with you. Right? And 9 times out of 10, there's no you probably gonna get popped in the mouth. Right? Don't sit up here and tell me that I'm kissing somebody else's ass. I don't kiss ass. I will kick your ass first. Right? I'm like what they used to say back in the I'm pretty much like what they used to say back in the day. Right? I kick like this. If I will tell you that I'm gonna kick your ass, then kick your ass, and then remind you quite loudly how I just kicked your ass. Right? Don't let this gray hair fool you, people. This is some shit that you really don't want to fuck with. Right? I got some shit ready for you. Right? Plain and simple. I'm a peaceful motherfucker. You come at me sideways, guess what? I'm gonna come at you the exact same way. I gives a damn. Like seriously. Right? I mean, because I ain't got shit to lose. Okay? These two, on the other hand, they may have that to lose, right? But like this, if you invest your money, just like say, Corey, look at that wasn't me, because I'd have popped that big bitch in his mouth. Plain and simple. You don't. There's one thing that you don't do. You don't tell no man that, right? You don't, motherfucker, don't throw no punch, and then get mad when somebody else hits you with their best.
Shit for the internet. You doing it for the internet. Now, if you want to say your time, no, hold on. If you want to
I'll
say
show
Anton,
you I ain't doing it for the internet.
if you want to say Anton, listen, don't disrespect me like that. If you want to say Anton, don't disrespect me like that. I'll respect you, but don't boss up on me because you said a lot of shit to me today that I don't fuck with either. But I let that shit ride because you don't know me. You don't know me. So I'm going to extend the same respect to you. You called me out of my name. You said some wild shit, especially with regard to how would it call this? I'm telling you that you did. You can't tell me how I get respect because you're not going to do shit.
Come at me with that sucker shit again.
You're not going to
come at me with. See, I suck.
Honestly, great the fact, I know I didn't say this in the last video, right? But this shit right here, right? The $64,000 question is not this. Would Corey say this shit if she wasn't there? Right? Because with most people, right? They'll be like, you know, they get, because see, now you got to play in a sense, now you have to play the Billy badass role because you got your bitch with you, right? You know, so I mean, put like this, I already know that this video ain't gonna get nowhere, right? But let's just say for shits and giggles that it does, right? Oh fucking weird. It just didn't got you put like this. It's just been got to where I intended for it to go, right? But this is supposed to be like man on man. This is not man on man and his woman, so to speak, right? Corey talk all that shit. Talk about, yeah, I did this, I do that, I do the other, right? 9 times out of 10, look at this motherfucker, right? He do good if he lasts 30 seconds. So, hey, it is what it is. Let's go.
We
can go back right now.
Fuck I am.
We can go back right now.
There it is right there. There it is. So here it is, right? You done dropped the mic. So that means that you're ready. So guess what? Anton just took it a step further. Okay, motherfucker, let's go to the back. Let's go. Right? Where you at, Corey? Where you at?
Don't say that shit. We can go all back right now. I got money for all this. Whatever.
I got money too. Don't nobody give a fuck about that shit.
Hey,
Then he folded up just real quick.
Folded up
He
like
folded
French
up,
laundry.
just up out of his chair, switching chairs, trying to physically intimidate you and threaten you. And then he folded up just real quick. And I got to be honest with you.
Yep, folded up like a goddamn lawn chair. Plain and simple.
It kind of shocked me to see him fold that quick.
It didn't shock me because what people may not have been able to see is that he was shaking. Like he was shaking like a stripper.
like trying to hold the mic shaking. And you can probably see it if you actually kind of look at it and zoom in. He was scared. And it was a defense mechanism. And so, you know, when we were having a conversation,
hold on.
he was outwitted.
Now, I don't know how many hours this was after that blow up, but then I'm thinking that 9 times out of 10, Anton, he went back, and well, I'm pretty sure that he didn't go back and watch the actual blow up, right? But then I'm looking at the shit back, okay, he might have actually really went back and watched some other people's stuff, because I know he actually really did. He and which that's natural too, where that, okay, you can go back after all this shit is, after everything's all said and done. You go back to your camp or whatever, cool off, call up your crew, you do a podcast or whatever. And then I remember some of the people saying that, okay, hey, look, just because you shake, right? It really doesn't mean that, okay, that you scared. You know, it could be just for the simple fact, okay, some shit finna go down. So you got that burst of energy, because the thing about it, I do that. When I know that, or when I feel like some serious shit about to go down, I get the shakes. It's not that I'm scared, right? But it's just for the simple fact, okay, some real serious shit is about to happen, right? And so I need to be on the ready, right? And you know, and again, right? You know, I you know, just like I say, you know, I go to the gym, but even then, that really don't mean a whole lot of shit neither. But the thing about though is this: I'm probably one of the strongest people that you ever gonna come across, right? That ain't on that shit, right? So if I hit you, guess what? You will be well hit. I give a damn how big you are or how small you are, right? Just know that, yeah. If I hit you, if the crazy uncle hit your ass, guess what? You will be a well hit motherfucker. And just know that I will hit your ass several times until I feel like, okay, you didn't had enough. Exit stage left, exit stage right, right? However the fuck you get out of my house, out of my face, that's what the fuck you need to do. Let's go. Uh-oh. Damn it. Get out of there.
Because I started talking a lot more intellectual about local voting and how that affects communities. And I know that he don't vote. I started talking about culture and the transatlantic slave trade, and he tried to box me in by saying, but you black.
Now, this, I mean, again, I'm not going, because basically, you know, we already talked about all that the other day, you know, put like this, you know, he's saying that we got sold, Corey saying that we got captured, and then just know that, look, guess what? We were already here. So what the fuck are you talking about? Right? And so, you know, and that's why when if y'all watched the video that I did, it wasn't yesterday, Wednesday, right? So, you know, I was just like, that's why I kept with the motherfucking light switch. You can have the light on and then you cut it off. It, you know, you wishy-washy, right? But hey, it is what it is. You know, when people act like, you know, I mean, you can do research, but sometimes you can miss some shit. So hey, it is what it is. Let's go.
Black. And I said, no, I'm a Christian first. You know,
Yeah.
I actually believe in Jesus. And so all of this type.
So again, right, you know, now my whole deal is, and I don't know if I said this, I'm sorry for, you know, keep talking or keep stopping. But when you say shit like this, right? You're a Christian first. Know the fuck you were. You was a human being first. right? A human being first. Then you became a black male child first. You weren't a Christian until like years later. And then it's just for the simple fact that to call yourself a Christian, right? That's diabolical within itself because your so-called Jesus didn't preach Christianity. So again, where you going with this, right? You know, this was something that was Christianity was forced on you, right? You know, regardless who did it, right? Because here's the deal, right? Somebody can put like this. I can plant a seed, or I can just put the shit out there, right? And then I can tell you, hey, go get that right there, right? And then you go get it, you start reading it, and you're like, ooh, guess what? This make a whole lot of sense. And then you start passing it around. Then eventually everybody is motherfucker doing what you did, right? It's just like that one show that I did when I said, hey, guess what? I'm gonna tell you a story, right? And then I want you to listen to me word for word, right? And then you go tell the next person the exact same shit with the fuck I just told you, right? And then by the time it get back to me, it's totally completely different, right? Because see, I can sit up here and tell you right now, right? Jack and Jill went up the hill, right? To get a pail of water, right? Jack fell down, broke his crown, right? Jill ran after. Okay, so now, if I tell you that, right? Then I'm like, okay, go tell the next motherfucker, right? And then between all of that, right? The question is gonna be asked, right? Okay, what the fuck they go up? Okay, so they went and got some water. And so motherfucker be like, okay, well, what did Jill look like? Did she have a fat ass? Right? Did she have a dress on? How short was the dress? Did she have some drawers up under it, right? Who the one actually really bent over and got the water in the fucking first place? What did Jack do when he saw all that ass? Okay? I mean, yeah, I'm taking it that way, but I'm just telling you, this is how motherfuckers do things. So, me as the teacher, I told you Jack and Jill went up the hill. I just gave you the motherfucking basic nursery rhyme. But by the time it get back to me, look, by the time that they done came down from the hill, guess what? Jill pregnant, probably got about 2-3 kids, and she on food stamps, right? And Jack is nowhere to be found. Okay, so I'm just telling you how shit go. Let's go.
Conversation was going way over his head. And so what he would do is he would try to change the subject real fast and then go to another point, go to another point. And we couldn't stay on anything because he kept moving the goalposts as a defense mechanism as to not get embarrassed on his platform. And then, as expected, he threw an insult and said that I like to kiss, pardon my French, white people's ass, white men's ass. To which I then responded with the same energy, well, you like to suck black people's D, right? Now, some people would say,
now, again, I could be nitpicking right here, right? But, but my whole deal is, right? And, I'll be the first one to tell you, I truly, honestly believe that the crazy uncle will never actually really reach this type of status, right? I mean, but then again, I could care less. I'm just doing this shit for motherfucking for entertainment purposes only. I just like to be able to be like, hey, look, this is how I feel about a particular subject, regardless of what may come out of it, right? I just like to be able to get on here, say what I got to say, and if it makes sense, fine. If not, oh fucking well. I'm the crazy uncle. This is what the fuck I do, right? So to be able to say what I want to say, you know, let's just say, okay, I'm just a nigga that's happy. Well, I ain't gonna call myself a nigga, but let's just say that I'm a motherfucker that just happy to be on YouTube, that I got a little bit of a platform to all 107 of my nieces and nephews. Hey, I appreciate y'all. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the hell out of y'all. I just need for y'all to go give me some more nieces and nephews so we can all sit back and enjoy this shit.
Well, Anton, you took it too far, right?
No,
and you can make an argument for that, sure. But I also understood who I was talking to and how far he takes it on a regular basis. And I see him disrespecting people, and he had just disrespected me. And you can't, and the lesson there is you can't control how people respond when they disrespect you.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? So I could have been a bigger person, but I decided not to on that platform.
Okay. So again, right? You know, and I said this the other day in my other video, right? It's all about being the bigger person, the bigger man or the bigger person, however the fuck you actually want to say it, right? You know, and then so, but then again, right? Sometimes being the bigger person ain't always the right thing to do, which is something that I've always felt, right? I mean, because in a sense, it's almost like that Dr. King bullshit, right? You know, turn the other cheek. I mean, no, motherfucker, you come at me sideways. Guess what? I'm gonna come at you sideways, right? I mean, because the thing about it though is that it's a sign. Me personally, it's a sign of weakness. You can be like, okay, yeah, all right, let it go. No, I can't. No, motherfucker, you just disrespected me. You disrespected me, right? So yeah, of course I gotta get you. So the thing with this whole shit here, Corey thought that okay, if I bring him on my platform, right, then I could just talk to this motherfucker in kind of a way, right? But see, that ain't how that shit go. That is not how the song go, people, right? You know, and then for the most part, right? I'm not gonna say this is gonna be today, right? It probably be next week, but see, I'm gonna actually really tell y'all. Matter of fact, I'm gonna. I know I said this a while back, right? But I'm gonna actually really do something that no YouTuber has ever done before, right? And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that. So for the most part, all what the hell that I can tell y'all, right, is the motherfucker. Stay tuned, motherfuckers, because it's only gonna get it any better. It's only gonna get it's gonna get better. Trust me on this, right? You know. So let's go.
Because I seen weakness in him, and I also wanted to expose him because he thinks he's a bully and he picks and chooses his targets, which I told him that also. So with him getting up and moving the chairs and all of that stuff, nobody was fearful of it. And it wasn't about being tough or anything like that. But it was like, okay, well, let's just see how far it goes. Let's see how far the rabbit hole goes. And it really amounted to just one of those type of dogs that like to bark on the porch, but then when they actually step out there, when you remove the fence from it, and again, he was shaking and all of that stuff. When you remove the fence from it, it amounted to practically nothing. Even so much so to the point to where I said, listen, we don't even have to keep talking about it. We can go out back if you tough, and we can figure it out back there. Because one thing that I'm not going to do, because I know that YouTube don't like fighting. They will demonetize you. They will penalize you. It can go really, really bad. So I'm not going to mess up his platform, and I'm not going to mess up my platform either. And so I'm like, well, listen, we could just go out back. We don't even have to cut the we don't have to cut the stream or anything like that. We can figure it out if you think you're tough. To which I already knew he wasn't going to do it. And he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He sat back down. He shook my hand. And then we continued the conversation. And at that point, I seen the weakness in him. And so I just proceeded to exploit him. I told him that he was scary, that he picks and chooses his targets, that he's hypocritical, that he was scared of Dave Chappelle.
Okay, so now, honestly, that's kind of questionable, right? I mean, because you get some people that, well, you know what? I'll leave that alone. I mean, because see, I wasn't them type that, okay, if I feel like that I can fuck with you, I'm gonna fuck with you. Because not to say that I know a lot of shit. I mean, because I do. I know a hell of a lot of shit, right? I'll be the first one to tell you, right? I'm smarter than the goddamn average scientist, right? Because what a scientist, right? A scientist will give you theories. I will give you motherfucking straight facts on how all of this shit actually really came about. Okay? Scientists will tell you about the Big Bang Theory, right? What no motherfucking Big Bang Theory, right? Because if indeed what you motherfuckers are saying is a theory, then theoretically, I've been drinking, but y'all know what the fuck I'm trying to say, right? Theoretically, none of us will be here right now. So for all you motherfucking scientists out there, yeah, choke yourself. Plain and simple.
That's why he tiptoed around giving his opinion on a special. I told him that the people around him are yes men, and they just tell him what he want to hear.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have any real friends, and that's why he continues to alienate people. And so I was very candid and matter of fact, and I didn't pull any punches, and I told him exactly what he was. And once I seen that it was escalating more, and then he started calling me out of my name again, I think that the intelligent thing to do at that point, because I had already made my point, was just to go ahead and walk away.
Yeah, I thought him folding up when you offered him the chance, hey, let's turn these cameras off and find out who we really are. Because people with cameras, they perform.
And I told him that too.
Yeah.
I told him, I said, you're doing this for the internet.
Yes. Yeah. The cameras make everybody. And you know, obviously I picked a side here, but I'm just being objective. Hey, let's turn these cameras off and then we can get to the real truth. Yeah. And he had no interest in that. And
because anybody is tough. You know, everybody can bark loud. And it's not even about winning or losing. And I don't consider myself a tough guy. You know, corporate America, software engineer. I'm a father, married 21 years. I don't have any children out of wedlock. I am, I go to church. So, you know, I understand that people may not necessarily like the way that I say things because the truth is uncomfortable. And I'm
exactly, you know, it's almost like that. But Sister Soldier said it best in Terminator X, Buck Wilding. Now, I already know for you younger folk, y'all don't know who Sister Soldier is. A lot of y'all don't know who Public Enemy is. right? But just know for me, right? I grew up on Public Enemy, Boogie Down Productions, LL Cool J, NWA, the old school, not this bullshit that's out here now. With that take me through there, I'm just like, really, bitch, But my whole deal is my whole deal is this. I caught the golden age of hip hop, right? And so in our case, right, there's a part in there of Terminator X Buck Wild, right, where that Sister Soldier says, "If the truth hurts, you'll be in pain. If the truth drives you crazy, you'll be insane," right? And so, for the most part, right, Corey Holcomb, he got popped in the mouth with the truth. Couldn't handle it, right? And then it's just like what Anton said, right? He got me left. And then Corey Holcomb, being the little chihuahua dog that he is, so, and then he had left it alone. Plain and simple. Let's go.
Open to the possibility that I'm wrong. But at the same time, I also understood who I was talking to and how disrespectful he is. And so I wanted to see just how disrespectful he can get and if he was able to back it up.
Here was the other thing I found interesting, why I find this important. This was important. And I know it was ghetto and I know it was profane and all of that. But someone had to go into that arena and take on that mentality.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's important because that mentality, the mentality that he promotes,
I'm sorry, Jason,
the mentality we temporarily, I think his camera changed angles or whatever, but someone had to take on that prison mentality. This is a 57-year-old man, Corey Holcomb, that has a clear-cut prison mentality and prison mindset, and that's pervasive all throughout Black culture, and it's popular over YouTube. And someone had to go into that arena and say, man, this is all a gimmick. This is someone intellectually limited who's not nearly as tough as he thinks he is. And so there's part of me that I'm on my Christian journey where I can't be profane. I don't like to use the N word. And so it's I'm
okay. So that's I felt like, okay, I've actually like really the point was proven, right? So basically, right, everybody for regardless how you were brought up, right? You take on a different type of persona or whatever, and then as you progress in life, right, you just you pick up stuff along the way, right? And not to say that anything is wrong with that, but it's how you pick it up. And that actually really starts like early in your life, plain and simple. And so when you look at it, right, you just be like, okay, well, hey, I'm gathering information, right? But then again, you really not looking at how you gathering the information. And I'm actually really talking about Corey Holcomb. Or matter of fact, let's just say that I'm not going to actually really just put Corey in the box. I'm not going to put you in the box like on this particular aspect right now. But I just look at it like this. Because this was everybody. Everybody has their own way of picking up information. And then it's just for the simple fact, a lot of y'all just pick up information, but you never use it. You never use it to your advantage, right? And then when when it actually, when game day actually really happens, and now when somebody actually really put your ass in the hot seat, excuse me. So when somebody put you in the hot seat, and so now you looking for it, right? And then it's come on, it's like right now you on the camera, motherfucker. Let's go. Where you at? Where you at? And so then once that happens, then you will take it somewhere else where you really don't need to take it. And that's all what the fuck Corey did. That's what he did, right? And so, hey, look, it is what it is, people, right? I mean, I can look at it like, that some of the shit did happen to me, but, so that's why I said what I said, I mean, because, like I said, I'm gonna do something for y'all, right? That ain't never been done before, because people crash out. Hell, the crazy uncle has crashed out, on other people's shit, but but in our case, it is what it is. But my whole deal is, listen, people, gotta do better about shit, But my whole deal is, and it's just like what I said the other day, when they was on the phone, they was talking the same shit, and and for the most part, it was like, okay, he warned him, like, okay, he just like, look, yeah, I'll come on your show, right? But you come at me with that, like this. If you come at me with that same bullshit, like with you coming at me with this same bullshit energy on the phone, you do this shit when I come to you, guess what? I'm gonna give you that same exact energy, right? And it's quite obvious that Corey Hogan wasn't ready for that, right? Just like say, old fat, bucketed, looking like old busted ass can of biscuits, right? it is what it is, people. But hey, you look, that's my spiel, right? And then it's just for the simple fact, people, if y'all gonna talk about something, if y'all really gonna talk about something, right? I mean, now, for the most part, right? I do like for a lot of y'all, right? A lot of y'all like the goddamn news media, right? Y'all do a brief. Y'all do a brief of shit, right? And then y'all try to camouflage it as if you talking about the same thing, right? But 9 times out of 10, it ain't the same thing, right? A lot of y'all, put it like this: horseshoes and grenades. A lot of y'all will say the same thing, right? As long as you get it within the area, right? But for like this, I like to be dead on with mine. And and not to say, now y'all may look at it different, right? But I'm just like, look, you can survive a motherfucking area blast, right? But you can't never survive anything that's dead on, dead center. You ain't gonna never be able to survive that. And so for the most part, that's what the fuck the crazy uncle try to do. So with that being said, guess what the fuck y'all get to do? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your dad, tell your Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, motherfucker next door across the street around the corner, Papa's Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. I'll holler at y'all.